What's up, you guys? I am Dr. Nina. I am a resident ambassador. I am also a PGY1 intern with the Medical College of Wisconsin's OB residency, which I just matched last cycle, and it is already interview season already for this upcoming cycle. And so one of the things that as an ambassador with Match a Resident, we try to make sure that we put information and out there to kind of help guide students in general that are going through this process, especially IMGs, and also provide resources. So that's kind of what I wanted to do today. So one of the things that was brought up is just to speak about how to answer interview questions that kind of like go with your specialty, and just also how to answer interview questions just in general. So basically, I think the best way to approach interview questions are to, number one, look up on Google, interview questions for residency. That's what I did. And just find some general questions of what typically would be asked. The most asked question I feel that is asked is, why did you choose this specialty? And I know there are like cliche reasons why people choose the specialty, but try to make it more personal of why you chose the specialty, because then I feel like it comes across more genuine, right? Like when I was asked almost every interview, why did I choose to go into, OBGYN? I went back to my personal statement because a lot of that was in my personal statement. And then, I also just, whatever wasn't in my personal statement, I went ahead and I talked about that, because I feel like when you have the interview, that's a good time to just expound on the reason why you decided to, apply to that particular specialty. For me, it was, through personal experience. I had had a tragedy that happened to me that basically changed my entire life. And so my whole reasoning for going to medical school and changing my previous career was through that personal experience that I put in my personal statement. But not only that, I was able to expound upon that during the interview process. But just in general, like if you were answering any type of interview questions, try to really take a moment sometimes and think about how you want to answer that question. The best thing is never to not have an answer. You want to make sure that you have an answer to any question that is ever brought up. And I know people that also dual applied, which I was one of those candidates that dual applied too. You want to make sure that you also have answers for whatever other specialty that you applied to as well. To me, I applied to family medicine, I applied to OB, those are parallel specialties. I wanted to make sure that, when I had family medicine interviews, that I wasn't coming across that I, was just using them as a backup. I wanted to make sure that they understood that, no, I really genuinely liked family medicine. And, I thought that I would be a great family medicine physician. And the reason why I thought that I would be a great family medical physician, and I would give them those reasons. And then when I would have my OB interviews, it would be the same thing. This is the reason why I applied, and this is the reason why I think that I would, be a great OB resident. I think in general, programs are looking for people that will mesh with the residents, right? Because you have to work with those people for the whole entire residency, and you have to be able to get along. So I think that's one of the things that they look for. They look for, are you easy to, get along with? Are you a person that's argumentative? Can you take direction? And can you answer questions on the whim? Can you think fast on your feet when put in a situation? I think that's a lot of the things that programs look for. I mean, yeah, they look for step scores too, but I think it makes more of a well-rounded applicant if you have other things that go along with that. And being able to interview well is one of those things. And so practicing in the mirror is another way I found being able to really answer interview questions and being more prepared to answer those interview questions, because everything is virtual again this cycle. And sometimes that can be hard, you know, because it's like you're just looking at a screen. And I just think looking in the mirror kind of like helped, because you're looking at yourself and how you actually come across when you're answering those questions. I think also practicing even with like a friend, you know, can help you too. Writing down like several questions and you guys comparing and contrasting the questions and then answering them both. So then you are prepared for, you know, multiple questions. One of the questions that I got during like one of my interviews that I had never ever thought of, but now like I put that in my arsenal, which was, you know, how would someone describe you that did not like you? I had never thought of a question like that before, and it really threw me for a loop. And so in hindsight, you know, now I can encourage people, like, try to also think outside the box of what other questions can someone spin, you know, like negatively. Like that to me was like a negative type of question that they were trying to like turn and spin to make it like more positive with your answer, right? Because nobody really thinks about, at least I didn't think about, okay, somebody doesn't like me, what are they going to say about me? Like I didn't think about that at all. So that actually threw me for a loop. But now I can encourage you guys, get ready for questions that, you know, you just wouldn't think would be asked, right? So I think that's like some of the main things, how to answer the interview questions. And I know I kind of was like babbling off a lot of different things, but just to recap, you know, try to make sure that you research questions online as number one. There are plenty of questions out there that you can get and practice. Try to practice in the mirror to, you know, make sure that you can see yourself, how you're answering the questions and how you're coming across. Even making videos of yourself answering questions is always good. Practicing with a friend is always a good idea to answer questions. And most important, being genuine when you're answering a question and not like just having a cliche answer, like really being genuine and trying to make those question answers a little more personal, I feel like is the best approach, in my opinion. And I think those are like really good tips for answering interview questions. But if you guys have any other, you know, concerns, or if I didn't answer, you know, give you enough tips or answer any of the questions that you guys have left like before, just, you know, let us know and we will make another video. Okay. Well, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. And good luck.